In this video, I'm going to give you a complete breakdown on how I automated 80% of all the operations and client acquisition of my marketing agency. I'm going to show you every single step that happens inside of the agency, every possible choice that I can make in order to either make it more automated or less automated and take up more of my time, all the way up from generating leads, setting appointments, closing sales, and actually delivering the service. So let's start right away with lead generation on the low scalability side of things. These are channels that I could implement today, and sometimes I still run them, but they're not ideal if I truly want to keep an empty calendar. So number one is going to be cold calling, where either myself or an appointment setter have to actually cold call, either manual DMs or manual emails, where once again, it requires manual effort. I can't just automate that and call it a day. Not ideal because we have to actually show up and trade 1 hour of writing out emails or actually cold calling to get a fixed number of leads. Because we know that out of every 100 cold calls, usually there's going to be around 20 pickups and maybe 1 or 2 people interested, maximum 3. But it's not going to be like one day we just start cold calling and all of a sudden we got 100 leads for the same hour invested. So it's something that it's very linear in terms of the effort invested and the results that we get. That's why it's not very scalable. If I truly wanted to double my results that I have with cold calling, I would need to hire another person or work more hours. That's why it's very low scalable. On the high scalability side of things, we have ads, we have content, and finally automated email. On the ad side of things, to create the actual content, to set up the campaigns, and to do the optimization, I could do it myself, or I could delegate it to a marketer who is much better than me. That not only frees my time, but actually gets us better results than what I could have gotten if I split my focus trying to cold call and then trying to set up ads and then trying to set up the emails. It's so much better to actually find someone who is a master at their craft and then just delegating those tasks over to him or her. Then on the cold email side of things, as you can see in the last 3 months, I've sent over 42,000 emails. Manually, you can just imagine how much time it would have taken me. For that, I need a couple of key pieces. Number one, contact scraping to actually find the people who we want to reach out to. The email setup to set up a bunch of different email accounts to not land in spam. At the time of recording, I'm running 40 different email accounts, each one sending 30 emails per day. Of course, the amount of contacts is usually a bottleneck because we don't just download the contacts off Apollo or LinkedIn. We actually manually scrape them. We outsource it to a lead scraper actually, because otherwise I would be stuck there 24/7 trying to scrape leads. You can just imagine scraping 43,000. That would probably take up at least a month of my time. And finally, the responses which come in through email to actually book in those appointments. Once again, I could do it myself or I could delegate it to an appointment setter. So the contact scraping is done by a lead scraper, the email setup by a VA, and the responses are done by the appointment setter. And finally, on the content side of things, just like this video, we have scripting the actual video, filming, editing, and thumbnails. At the time of recording, I'm doing everything myself, but in the near future, I can go full E-man mode and get a thumbnail editor, an actual editor for the video, a writer, and then just record out the video myself. And these tasks are highly scalable because 1 hour of my time equal more than 50 leads. If I set up a good ad over here, or one of our marketers do, we can easily get upwards of 50 leads for that hour invested that otherwise would have gotten us around 5 leads. Or actually creating new email campaigns, once again, aside from the contact scraping, which is time consuming, which we just delegate, any more time invested into the email campaigns is going to deliver at least 50 leads. And on the content side of things, the idea is that it brings in leads in the near future. But it's highly scalable because I can record this video just once and it can potentially be viewed an infinite amount of times without me having to hop on a call with every single person and maybe show them this presentation. So out of all of these channels, we generate those leads, which usually are contact information, maybe name, phone number, and email, which once again, it qualifies as a lead. After that, we have to set the appointments to actually close the sales. To actually do so, we have different channels, DMs/text messages, email, and calls. Once again, I could be doing everything myself. As you see, it's a very recurring pattern that I could do absolutely everything myself. But you could just imagine how split my focus would be of trying to cold call, trying to set up different ads, trying to set up the emails, and then trying to follow up with all the leads that came in by manually typing out the emails, trying to call them, set them over text messages. So it's not a very good idea, nor is it scalable. So that's why having at least one appointment setter plus automations, for example, with email, whenever someone opts in, we have a drip sequence that sends them emails. It gives them value on the emails and gives them a reason to actually schedule a call. And finally, AI, for example, with the calls, as soon as someone opts into our funnel, they're going to be called by an AI to be instantly qualified and booked in for an appointment. The same thing goes for text messages. If they don't respond, the phone call. And finally, to actually close out the deals, we do need to take sales meetings where either I could take them myself or I could have a closer just taking the meetings and actually close. I'm not very good at sales. I don't like sales, so that's why having a closer is a no-brainer. After the deal is closed, we have ourselves a client. So as you can see, the key here is implementing different systems and then just having a couple of key players to actually run those systems. For example, on the ad side of things, having a marketer is an absolute game changer because they can run the ads and then they can also script out new emails. One person can run 3 types of highly scalable acquisition channels instead of having one person cold calling all day, having one person manually send out emails, and so on and so forth. We get better results and more consistently without me having to be stuck in operations all day. Finally, on the fulfillment side of things, after somebody has already become a client, we have first of all the onboarding, where I could hop on the meetings and actually explain to them how the program works, what we're going to do step by step, how the CRM works, where they can check all of the metrics. I could do all of that on a meeting, or I could just have an onboarding funnel on a Notion, as you can see in this case, where they can click, for example, on onboarding and get themselves with all the information at their own pace and with the information that they need. If they don't need any information on creating ads and they only want to know on appointment setting, they can just click there on their own pace. Then on the actual service for creating the ads, I could do once again the same process that we were doing over here, content creation, campaign setup, and optimization. Or I could deliver it to a marketer who is going to deliver better results. For the AI plus automations after someone opts in, because the idea here is for our clients in solar, they're going to have their leads being generated 24/7 with the ads, and then having AI plus automations actually book in those meetings from the leads that are already coming in. So as you can see, it's literally one piece of my entire acquisition funnel just delivered to our clients after we have chosen which is the most worthwhile one to pursue and which has the most impact, which in this case is ads, because we could help them create content and all that stuff, but that would take tons of time to start delivering leads. It's hard for the client because they actually have to record themselves. There's a ton of bottlenecks that we can just solve with ads by delivering this service. And then on the appointment setting phase, we can just set up the AI plus automation side of things to once again make the service as interesting as possible and as high value as possible for the client. And for the AI plus automations, I could try to connect everything myself or give it to the marketer who has a much better idea on the messaging he used on the ads, so he can make the entire funnel much more consistent by adding the same messaging down here on the AI plus automation section. The last step is just optimizing the whole funnel after we know exactly the results we're delivering. And once again, I could do that myself or the marketer. And you can see here, by having most of the operations plus fulfillment already automated, the biggest levers I can pull for growth don't require tons and tons of effort. If I want to get more leads, I just have to increase the ad spend. If I want to be able to handle more clients, all I need to do is hire more marketers. And if I want to get better results on the whole funnel, I just need to hire top talent. So the best appointment setters, the best marketers, and the best closers. So that's the breakdown on how I automated 80% of my agency. If you want to copy and paste the exact acquisition funnel that I'm using, just like this one, I've left the link to that video down below. Go ahead and click that, copy paste the entire funnel and start getting results today. With that being said, thank you very much for watching and I'll see you on the next one.